A Liberal MP has intensified his attack on those rallying against an Indigenous voice to Parliament, putting him at odds with his own party. Live to Lucy Gray now at Griffith University. Lucy, we heard from Julian Leeser a bit earlier on this. What were the key concerns he outlined today?
Well, Ash, speaking here this morning at Griffith University in front of a crowd of about 50 lecturers, students and other university staff, Julian Leeser took aim at one of the key pillars of the No campaign, and that is their slogan, "If you don't know, vote no." He argues that it wrongfully appeals to people's ignorance, and Australians should instead be encouraged to educate themselves to make an informed decision about this upcoming referendum, which is slated for October, which will give Australians the opportunity to vote to decide whether or not an Indigenous voice to Parliament should be enshrined in the Constitution. Mr Leeser believes people should vote yes, as it's a simple change of only about 100 words, which will have a major impact.
I think the No case is doing themselves a real disservice and Australians a real disservice by running the argument, if you don't know, vote no. It's not an argument that appeals to your hopes or your fears, it appeals to someone's ignorance. If you don't know, read the pamphlet. If you don't know, get informed.
Now, this isn't the first time Mr Leeser has spoken out against the No campaign. In April, he stood down from the opposition front bench after the federal opposition chose to oppose the voice. He's since then accused the No campaigners of creating too much noise around this and trying to overwhelm Australians with issues such as treaty and reparations, which he believes aren't necessarily relevant. This is an argument he pushed again today.
The No campaign is using what I like to call the Jackson Pollock approach to campaigning. His approach was to splatter paint all over the canvas and let the viewer be overwhelmed by the chaos. Splat, splat, splat. Treaty, splat. Reparations, splat. Welcomes to country, splat. Yes signs on the Qantas fuselage, splat. Splat, 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 splat.
Now, while Julian Leeser is rallying for the Yes campaign here in Queensland, just south of the border, some of his Liberal colleagues, including the head of the No campaign, Senator Jacinta Price, attended a community event in Western Sydney last night where she pushed the case for the No campaign and argued the referendum was actually going against multicultural Australia.
And I think for the migrant community, it's important to feel just as important, just as Australian as everybody else. And I think the voice actually won't do any favours in terms of making Australians feel like we all belong to this country.
Now, the Prime Minister will announce a date for the referendum next week in Adelaide, and this is as the AEC's official pamphlets outlining both the Yes and No campaigns begin arriving in our letterboxes. Ash.